Shalom Jnet. My name is Rael Cordron. I divide my time working as a rural generalist. That's a type of doctor in the Alice Springs Hospital. I've lived away from Jewish communities for more than 15 years. In 2016, I learned of the existence of an organization called Chabad of Rural and Remote Australia. And it was the first time in a long time that I felt connected to something bigger, larger than myself. And when my grandmother Mima passed away, and I was too remote in this town, Tennant Creek, to return for a funeral, I arranged to learn on the phone in her merit for that hour with the Rabbi Yossi Rodel of Chabad Rara. And it was then that he introduced me to JNet. So things moved quickly from my interview and to meet in my Chevruta Rafi Goodman, who's a most wonderful, learned, insightful family man who found the time in his busy week with his work as an electrical engineer and looking after his family with 4 kids to learn with me. And we've learned regularly for more than a year already. We learn Chumash with Rashi, and recently we completed the Megillat Esther with commentary, something both of us had never done. I look forward to my Chevruta every week because it's time set aside for Jewish learning, which is something that every individual should do. And JNet has given me this wonderful opportunity to fulfill this mitzvah in this most remote location with someone who's not only my age, but funny and friendly, well-learned and inspirational. I can honestly say that the combination of JNet learning and connection to Chabad of Rara has inspired my Jewish practice. I think my home is the only strictly kosher home in literally thousands of kilometers. I drove 100 kilometers to tovel my cutlery and crockery in a creek. And this year, with Chabad Rara, I hosted at my home a Purim Seudah, and we read the Megillah and fulfilled the mitzvot, and also at my home 2 large seders.
Hi, my name is Rafi Goodman. I live in Melbourne, Australia. I'm 39 years old, and I've been involved with JNet now for just over a year. A friend of mine who does JNet suggested I get involved, as there's quite a few people here in Australia looking for learning partners for chavrusas, and I decided I'd give it a go, and I've been very happy I've done so. I've got a fantastic chavrusa. The fellow's name is Rael Cordron. I'm loving being involved with JNet. It's just fantastic, and I really suggest anyone who has the time or to make the time to learn with someone. There are people out there who don't have access to Torah, they're in a remote location, or they're starting from scratch. Please get involved. It's really good, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm glad I got involved. So continued hatzlacha to JNet and all its people that are involved.
We also had a Lag BaOmer party, and Rafi was the guest speaker because it was our Chevruta night, and so he called in and became our guest speaker for the crowd. And actually the host of Lag BaOmer is a young Jewish guy who I recently connected with, and subsequently he's bought a set of tefillin, and I taught him how to put it on, and so he puts on his tefillin daily, and he's recently applied to start learning with JNet, with a JNet Chevruta too. And JNet has been a real catalyst for this Jewish explosion in the remote Australian outback.
Being that I work in the professional world, you don't always get so many shlichas and mifsoim opportunities. JNet really afforded me this opportunity to get involved with the Rebbe's shlichas, Rebbe's mifsoim, on a weekly basis, really from the comfort of my own home.
I want to give a massive yasher koach and thank you to JNet, the workers, the volunteers and the donors who make this amazing organization and project possible. And I hope that you really understand that you're contributing to real, meaningful changes in people's lives.